Welcome to JoJo's Infinite Universe, where we dive deep into the realm of infinite possibilities. I'm JoJo, your guide on this transformative journey, where we share people's experiences to realities they didn't feel were possible. Have you ever felt stuck, lost, or overwhelmed by life's challenges? Well, you're not alone. But here's the secret: those experiences hold the key to unlocking your inner superpowers. Join me as we experience how self love can turn trauma into triumph and how embracing life's magic can lead to a world of endless potential. Get ready to rewrite your story and unleash the superhero within. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share to spread the message of empowerment to others. This is JoJo, and the adventure starts now. Welcome back, beautiful souls. Today we have a special episode. It's going to be super short, but I think it's going to be a fun and interesting conversation. So, I have been interested in the way Pinocchio, yes, I said Pinocchio, shows how you can activate your pineal gland or third eye. So today I want to go into exploring the movie a little bit and explaining how these things could help you and try to make it a little fun. So it's interesting that Pinocchio in Italian, if you break it up, it says Pino, which means pine, and Occhio, which means eye. And the pineal gland is shaped like a pine cone. So you have that pine, and the pineal gland is also called the third eye, which is the eye in Occhio. So is this kind of interesting that Pinocchio kind of means pineal gland or third eye? So that's where it first starts. Then the story kind of has lots and lots of symbolism in it. So we have Geppetto, the father or creator, which he can be represented as God or source. Blue fairy, which could be represented as the Holy Spirit. And Jiminy Cricket could be represented as Jesus Christ, JC. Or you could also call that your Christ consciousness or your inside voice, the inner voice that's always telling you what's right and what's wrong. So when the movie starts out, the blue fairy comes in and brings Pinocchio to life. And she says that you need to be brave, truthful, and unselfish to be a real boy. Could that be that she's giving us the inside secret on how to play this real game of life? That if we commit to these things, to being brave, truthful, and unselfish, that we'll be able to play the real game and open up our third eye? Because the game of life is all about frequency and energy. In order to activate your pineal gland or third eye, you need to raise your vibration. So in Pinocchio, they teach us how to lower or increase your vibration or frequency. So it is our choice on what we choose to do. So I'm going to dive in a little bit on how the movie expresses those things. So let's first dive into the things that they represent to lower your vibration. Well, the first main lesson that Pinocchio even physically shows is lying, right? He lies, his nose grows. So with lying, you are either trying to cover up something that you're not proud of, which is a shame energy, or you're not holding yourself accountable, which is a guilt energy. These energies will drain you. It also can extend to being truthful to yourself and being your authentic self with no mask, right? Because you're not lying to yourself as well. So you remove those guilt and shame energies, which are very, very low vibrational. The next thing Pinocchio talks about is how to not follow the crowd against your inner voice. So when your inner voice is telling you to do something, even when everyone around you is telling you the opposite, that you should follow your inner voice, because these people that are trying to steer you away from your path or away from your inner self is steering you away from your true self and from God, looking outside for validation. So when you're looking for things like fame or material things in order to show yourself that you have value, then you are taking away from who you truly are. So you also want to be very careful who you trust, and because a lot of people can just lead you away from your path, because everyone has their own journey and their own path to go through. It doesn't mean that their path is necessarily wrong for them, but if it's not guided by your own inner self, then it is not right for you. So always stay to your true self. In Paradise Island, there are lots of rides and activities that emphasize all those things that are really lower vibrational, like not letting peer pressure change you or go against your inner voice again, or your Christ consciousness, that Jiminy Cricket inside that's telling you what's right or wrong. Other things that keep you away from your higher self and activating your pineal gland in those screens would be, stealing and breaking things. That's not having respect for other people's things. Cheating, again, not necessary. Drinking and smoking. Contempt, seeing others as beneath you or worthless, right? Because we all want to see each other as equals. We are all united and we're all one. So everyone has a different journey, everyone's at a different path, but there's no one that is beneath each other. Everyone is at the same level. And then letting evil entities talk you into doing things that make you a jackass, right? Isn't that just the epitome of that Paradise Island? You have these negative entities just throwing this stuff in your face. It's kind of interesting that, right now Hollywood is having a huge amount of things for that specific situation where people will throw money in your face to make you do things that ethically are not right. You don't want to let these entities guide you to put a scratch on your soul, right? Like that's the most important thing, and that's what this movie shows us, is how to stay away from those lower vibrational behaviors so that we can stay in our high vibration and stay in our divine self and be our authentic self, because that's really where the true magic happens. Your intuition gets stronger. You can start being guided into your more divine and desired timelines, and it is just a more magical place to be. So in the Paradise Island, they have a scene where they have all these kids. It's called clock stoppers, and they're all like bashing out clocks. And it is kind of interesting. I thought, it seems like it's symbolizing stopping your growth on your evolutionary path. Like it was right there in the middle of the movie. If you do these things, you're going to stop your evolutionary path. So, how do we increase our vibration based on Pinocchio? Well, as the Blue Fairy said, you want to first start off by being unselfish, doing the right thing even when it's hard, even when you have to sacrifice in order to do the right thing for a larger impact for the whole, right? Like if you might lose out, a little bit of money, but by doing it, you're doing the right thing for another person, then that is being the unselfish part. Being brave, right? That was the next thing she said. Be brave and true to your heart and your most authentic self. Being brave means doing those difficult things when we don't want to. Pinocchio dived into the whale to save his father and swam them to safety. And we don't normally have to deal with things that dramatic, but just doing the things that you know in your heart to be true. Because being real is in your heart. It's not how you are on the outside, even though sometimes being on the outside is coming from your heart, but it all starts in your heart. Your heart is electromagnetic and it creates the frequency. So even if you're doing the right thing, but you're doing it for the wrong reason, that will keep you in a lower vibration. And then the most important lesson that Pinocchio teaches is that you can always change your way. Every day is a new moment that you can change your mindset. Everyone has the opportunity to change. Everyone has the choice every day to change. I know that there were parts in my life that I did not have the most integrity, and I did not always act in the most ethical way. And I did a lot of things to hurt myself as well. But I stood up one day and decided to change that. And I've never looked back. And I hope someday that you can see that by changing the things that you do and the way you act from your heart, that it will change your world and your life. Because if we can just change ourselves, our outsides will change. It's it's kind of interesting how you change your reality by changing the way that you are. So I hope that you thought that this was some interesting mind bending information that allowed you to think about this story in a new way. And I hope that it brought you some insight of things that you might want to change a little bit in your life to make your third eye a little bit more active and to make your life a little bit more better. I hope you have an amazing week and love infinitely, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. If this week's message spoke to you, please share it so that it can help someone else too. If you need advice or are interested in being part of the show, you can DM me on Instagram or email me at jojosinfiniteuniverse@gmail.com. Until next time, love infinitely, my friends.